All right, a little impromptu stream here. Hope everyone who watches this after the fact is doing well because, like, no one's going to be in right when I start it. But yeah, doing a little impromptu stream, a little Whack-A-Hovind. Ambushed Apostate in AJ's Discord posted this one telling me that it was a little more wild than normal. So we're going to just straight up check this out. This is his Sunday morning sermon. Psalms 58, God will judge. Sounds like it's going to be pretty crazy. So, right, let's begin. And of course, it's in classic potato vision from Hovind's side, where their stream is garbage, but you can see that Restream is acting just fine. That little bit of preamble out of the way to give people some time to come in. Let's begin.
Folks, Kent Hovind here in the crew at Dinosaur Adventure Land, freezing Dinosaur Adventure Land, down freezing for 8 hours last night, 27 degrees. We are at Genesis Baptist Church.
Yes, Kent, it does that during a winter storm. He says it like it's something major. I know this is just like the tiniest thing to nitpick on, but from what I've heard, this is going to get really dark and be really, really wild. So that's why I decided to take a stab at it while the stabbing was good. Man, that is violent language. Oh, Hovind whacking is getting to me. Anyway, ignoring that, let's continue.
Church in Lenox, Alabama. It is January the 12th, 2025. This morning's message on Psalm 58, God's going to judge. How does all the evil get by in the world? Nothing gets by. Nobody gets by with anything.
Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, none of the evil gets handled while we're all alive. You know, evil people can just go on and do whatever, and unless something actually does happen, it doesn't seem like there's some kind of divine judgment that happens when it actually matters. But after the fact, you know, that second life that is just talked about, but there's no evidence of. And if there was a God, Kent, they would judge you so very harshly. Also, I just noticed in the middle right there is what I hope is another human being. Sorry, I'm moving my mouse like you can't see it. Right below his slide, covering person's face, is somebody. This is going to be interesting.
Long term. Anyway, I asked a couple folks to come share their testimony this morning. Brother, tell us who you are.
I was bamboozled. There were two people. Also, more testimonies. I guess Kent got upset about somebody calling DAL a cult again. Oh, let's see what these clowns have to say.
Where you're from and how you heard about this place. Go ahead. I got it.
Okay, my name is David Whitney. My wife Catherine, and grew up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. My parents are missionaries.
He didn't ask for your life story. Just start sucking him off about how good Dinosaur Adventure Land is. All right.
To the Jewish folks, Holocaust survivors. Dad was the director of the Evangelization Society of Philadelphia.
Wait. I need to go back and hear that one again.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. My parents are missionaries. To the Jewish folks, Holocaust survivors.
Wow. This got really dark really quickly. And, not going to focus on it. I just wanted to make sure I heard Holocaust survivors correctly. But of course, now, he's Christian, just, just ditch the faith of my parents. Unless they were, Jewish Christians, because Judaism, or being Jewish is an ethnicity, and that's actually the thing that they were against, was the ethnic branch of things, because, those really bad Germans back in the 30s and 40s, it was about that their ethnic stuff, more so than other factors. But they did have religious persecution tied in, but that's neither here nor there.
Dad was the director of the Evangelization Society of Philadelphia, and also called the Hananiel Ministries, which is still going today, reaching Russian Jews and Jews from all over the world. They have a Passover service every year, and they get between 50 and 100.
Yeah, this dude is way too quiet, and this is, clearly going on, but we've got to power through at normal pace, because I feel like we'll miss important stuff if I speed through.
Visiting unsaved Jewish people, and several do get saved every year. And as a child, as a youngster, my mom was raised in the Christian and Missionary Alliance. She went to Nyack Missionary College, which was right near West Point up in New York. And she was quite a soul winner, and she had a calling to the Jews. My dad had a calling to the Jewish folks after he got saved after World War II. Came back, was going with a girl up in Portland, Oregon, and was under conviction of the Holy Spirit. He couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. He'd go to psychiatrists, and they told him nothing wrong with him. But here there was an all-night prayer meeting going on from a Nazarene church back in his hometown. They were praying for my dad, and he got up and walked out of a movie that was going on at the time. Was Gone with the Wind. And the very last word of that movie was a cuss word. And that's the first cuss word ever to appear in the movies. My dad got up, walked out, started driving, and he came across a big sign that said, "Christ died for sinners. Leave this wrath and come." And right there, he pulled over to his car and cried his heart out, asked Christ into his life, and it just has an amazing story. And if you have one of his little pamphlets here, God Keeps His Promises, and I'd really like to see that.
Sorry, kind of had a hot mic there for a moment. Oh, man.
Produced and sent out as like a track, a small gospel track. But anyway, I grew up in a missionary family. We were out every Sunday morning.
Well, insofar as an English language film, I think there's some things to be argued about other languages and the like, but again, neither here nor there.
Sunday morning, we went to church at the center.
That's just me wishing to discuss anything more interesting than this dude. Like, sorry, he seems like a nice guy, but he is terrible at storytelling.
We're chapel, and then we would go eat a quick lunch and then take off toward the Hananiel House, which is on 5415 Rising Sun Avenue. And there would be 2 or 3 street meetings, and they would have a service there. So I think by the time Sunday night was over, I'd been in 7 preaching services.
Amen.
And passing out tracts.
Good.
I was passing out tracts before I was even saved. And I remember Dad knocking on doors, and I sometimes was afraid. I was thinking, man, maybe they're not home. I hope they're not home. But they'd answer the door, and you could always tell it was a Jewish home because they had a little menorah on the side of their doors. Right. And it had scripture inside of it. And I saw them spit in my dad's face.
Oh, man. Oh, I see why this is about to go the way that I've been told that it goes. Oh, man. I was going to say, just for context's sake, that we are listening to a person whose parents were apparently Holocaust survivors. After watching Gone with the Wind, his father had some epiphany and converted to Christianity. His son's going out proselytizing this stuff while having not been quote unquote saved yet, which I thought would be the first thing you do the moment you accept quote unquote Christianity. But again, there's as many versions of the religion as there are people on earth. And he's now about to go into apparently just some straight up anti-Semitic BS. For those who know me, anti-Semitic stuff really doesn't set well with me. It's kind of an instant trigger, and the fact that it's illegal is what stops me from usually punching somebody who starts on such a rant right in the face that exact moment. It's just an instinct I have. So yeah, just establishing context.
I saw them just treat my dad very, very disrespectfully. But sometimes tears would come to his eyes, and he would say, "I'm here in the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." And my dad was always a humble person. He wasn't a great orator. He wasn't real as smart as Doc here.
Tubi, and it was barely actually explained what it was. He just like gets done with watching Gone with the Wind, leaves the film, excuse me, after damn is said at the end, and then sees some sign about Jesus saves from sinners, and just is all like, oh, I'm a Christian now, and just the typical bullshit conversion story. It's ridiculous.
Or, but he was a quiet person who I never ever heard him say a mean thing. I never heard him ever.
Braden, I would say truly no, it's not that big of a change, but they always think that it is a massive change, a massive turning point, as you phrase it, in their lives. And yet sometimes they'll jump multiple times, and it's so weird, but they always excuse it. Oh, I was wrong last time, but I'm right this time. It's like, how about none of them are right?
Get upset with my mom, except my mom would get upset during the income tax time because dad would always put an extra $100 in there to help pay off the national debt.
Right.
And you can see where that is
It
today.
ain't going to happen.
But anyway, I was so blessed. My sister, who lives down in Deerfield Beach, Florida, I have one sister, and we were so blessed to be raised by our parents, who were godly parents. We would get up in the morning and sneak upstairs to try to surprise them. And every morning, without doubt, they'd be on their knees with a whole bunch of missionary cards spread out on the bed, and they'd spend about an hour in prayer,
Amen.
praying for these missionaries. So, about
I mean, people do some weird stuff, but I have a hard time believing Holocaust survivors flipped this much. Just,
the age of 7 is when I went with my parents to an old-fashioned tent meeting by Oliver B. Green. And you've heard the Sawdust Trail. Well,
Oh,
they
yeah.
had sawdust on the floors there. And he preached a message on hell that very much scared me. And I thought, I do not want to go to hell. So on the way home, it was like in the February of 1957. I think it was 57 or 58.
okay, so I'm seeing the chat about Sandra. Somehow that has completely missed my radar and apparently not been in AJ's Discord. Start filling in. I don't want this to become like a mega stream, but if it has to, we'll do it.
And I remember asking my parents questions on our way home in a little, back then we had an old Chevy. They didn't have seat belts or anything back then.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of kids. You can always make another one.
God, Kent, that is just... It's just one of those horrible things you constantly say that you think sounds cute. And funny, you can always make another one reference, from a godly man referencing, the necessities of the act to do that and getting that shit-eating grin on your face. Yeah, sure. Man, am I going to be pissed off I even did this video? Because I feel like I'm going to be pissed off that I even did this today, but let's keep going.
anyway, so we got home and I kneeled down that night beside my bed and I said, Lord, I know I'm a sinner. I've very bad boy and have done bad things.
Interesting. Well, ain't that swell telling me that Kent got a new secretary, which was out of the blue, which was announced in this stream. Sandra has not been seen on a Sunday stream since Christmas. Very interesting. So Devin popping up. So Hovin's having a convert on the show to show how much he's doing for the kingdom to reinforce the good guy scam and his sycophants before No 4's Gone 2 news comes out. Ooh, this is... I'm not one for drama, but man, this is getting juicy.
Things, and I want to ask you into my heart, but I still want to do what I want to do. Because the heart's deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. But anyway, I think that's when the Lord first started working in me. Then when I was 14 at Harvey Cedar's Bible Conference, is where I dedicated my life to the Lord. Said, Lord, I'll do anything you want, go anywhere you want. But even then, there was a girl there that I was
You know, I'm not calling Kent anything, but if he himself was to be brought up on charges of being a portable document format file, I wouldn't be surprised.
Kind of trying to impress. So, I mean, it's just crazy. You think you're doing, doing something, but there's sometimes ulterior motives.
Oh yeah. I don't want to go all day on this,
Well,
brother.
stop.
So tell us, how'd you hear about us down here, and how you've
Please, Kent, all you ever do is go on all day about crap.
been here quite a few times.
Well, I grew up, well, after I was married, I was in Alton, Illinois, and I went through a pretty rough divorce, and I took the children out. I have 4 children, and I took them out to Stealing the Mind.
Yes, as Deviant points out, so got a message yesterday saying Sandra left DAL the night before, i.e. Saturday. Nothing's confirmed. Try not to spread rumors. Don't just bring up random things. Don't spread rumors. We're all just guessing here. We're just good at following lines of evidence and seeing where they lead. Unlike Kent.
Conference, which was out in Colorado.
Right.
And that's where I met Doc. And he was so kind to my children and me. He gave us all of his tapes, and he's got a real heart for kids. And my kids have grown up and watched his tapes several times, and it's helped them through the public school, which they had to go to.
Here he goes, talking crap about the public schools as he sits there and strokes Kent's ego and saying he has, a way with kids or likes kids or anything like that is not what you want to be saying around Kent given the people he hangs around. Seriously, I was cracking a joke earlier, but, only half joke.
And anyway, so I've known him for about 45 or
Long time.
50 years, quite some time.
Yeah.
And he's always been consistent. And he's always kept his eye on reaching the lost and communicating about Dinosaur Adventure Land. He's been a blessing to thousands upon thousands.
How many times have you been here?
This is probably our 7th. I was here 2 years ago. I was here this first year when there was hardly anything here.
Mm-hmm.
And then up till 2 years ago, we bought a place. Were you driving truck then? Yeah, we were both working. I was working as a mechanic. She was working as a driver for this place here, Vandalia.
Oh, come on. Don't bring the company. Don't get them involved. Great. Now they're associated forever with Kent Hovind.
Bus lines.
Okay.
And so after I did 30 years at the railroad. So when I retired from that, I become a visitation pastor. But I'll stop. I'll
Okay.
stop now.
So you hear rumors around the place that this is a cult. There's dead bodies buried here.
Oh, Kent, I don't think anyone actually takes the dead bodies thing seriously. The pig explanation works fine. But the cult thing, totally a cult. Meets the criteria for a cult. It's a cult. Yay.
What do you know?
The only things I've ever dug up is dinosaur bones.
Okay.
And clams.
That's okay to do that. Amen. Well, thank you so much. And how long you had to put up with him?
Oh, boy. 20-some years.
Okay, good. No gray hair yet.
No,
I got a couple.
a little bit.
Amen. Well, thank you so much, brother. And thank you so much, Kathy. And thank you. Y'all come visit Dinosaur Adventure.
I'm glad she, got to set up there, but didn't actually get to say anything of value until Kent decided to acknowledge her existence. Class act, Kent. And class act to Mr. Man in the Middle. I'm not looking forward to this, everyone. I'm not saying it's necessary, but this is a great time to remind people that super chats help motivate me. Because shit kind of sucks.
Land. All right. All right. Anybody else? Come on now. Anybody else want to share their testimony? Okay. Psalm chapter 58. Thank you so much, brother. God will judge. People say, how's all the bad stuff happen in the world? And they get by with it. Nobody gets by with anything. Nobody.
Yep, Kent, that's why you spent 9 years in jail. Oh, wait, you didn't do anything. I forgot. because we all trust what multiple felony conviction, spouse abusing, science denying, sovereign citizen nut jobs tell us. Yep, you're totally on the up and up.
Not long term. You watch. God's going to be the judge. So we're in Psalm chapter 58. Dead center in your Bible is the book of Psalms. I'll write that number down. I'll need that in a minute, 2510. Okay. Psalm chapter 58. We're on TikTok. And if you're not one of our subscribers on TikTok, you can be for real cheap. And every Sunday morning at 9:30, an hour ago, I did a TikTok lesson just for those on the subscriber list. How do they do that? Joseph, go to the website or go to the TikTok channel, Kent Hovind Official, and subscribe. Okay, simple enough. So please subscribe to our channels. We got a bunch of them out there, and share the message with other people. You probably know somebody's going to need this.
Everyone say hi to the JPEG compressed to hell and back subscribe button from 2009. Hi, ancient subscribe button. How you doing?
This message this morning. Share it with them. It does something for algo or something. No, algorithm.
Oh God, another stupid joke. Kent, it's 2025. Get with the times.
Gore's rhythm, is that?
Oh wait, look who we're talking about.
Okay. So share it if you can. January the 12th, this Wednesday, 15th, my birthday. Look, help us stay open for free. You can join our 777 club. We have a new secretary, Jessica. Raise your hand there, Jessica. They can't see through the camera around that way, but Jessica and her husband been a great blessing here. And her email is Dr. Dino Secretary at drdino.com.
It can't just be secretary at drdino.com. It can't be Jessica at drdino.com. It can't be first name dot last name. It can't be anything professional. It's got to be Dr. Dino Secretary. Are you fucking serious? This motherfucker would try to make his local municipality change the road name that he lives on to his name. Just so when you send him mail, it would be Kent Hovind, 188 Kent Hovind Road. Fuck.
Do you have any questions for me or anything you want to questions about the?
On that note, I should send some mail to 29 Cummings Road in Pensacola, being like, "Where's Kent? I heard this was his address. Where's he at? I called asking about him and the number was disconnected, so I sent some mail to the address on his VHS tape. Where is he?" Just to see what happens.
Ministry, contact Jessica, or she's still extension 1, 855 Big Dino extension 1. So thank you, Jessica. Great.
Please, everything's number 5 or 6 since he's been out of jail at this rate.
Blessing here. Go to drdino.com. It's our website if you want to order our materials or anything like that. Open for 8.75.
Braden with $6.99 Canadian condemning me to this nightmarish hellscape that I've created for myself with the super chat of "Suffer for our amusement like all good content creators." I will endure.
Years now, 32,000 visitors from all 50 states and 78 foreign countries. We've seen many lives changed, at over 275 baptized in our lake. We can do this because people who love the Lord support us.
Yes, but you're ignoring the lives changed because a kid drowned at your park. Or that guy who broke his back. Or that time that kid went missing for a few days. Don't think we forgot about that. But I don't want to get into that. It's been covered pretty thoroughly, but the internet never forgets, Kent.
Because we're open for free. I personally have given thousands of tours in the Jeep, one of our 3 old Jeeps we got. We got a 2007 Jeep that needs a roof. One of the removable hardtops. If you know where to find one, let me know. Somewhere around $10 you're looking for, in that range, maybe 12. Somebody came here and took a trip, creationtales.com.
Yeah, it's like Deviant's like, Kent's so cheap, he can't even give his unpaid secretary her own email address, which is free to set up. It's like, yeah, seriously, the tech guy could set it up in no time at all. No time. Trivial to do. I mean, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Isn't that hard? Hell, I could literally give any of y'all you want whatever at zadara.com email address. Or if you wanted carissimoto.com, I could do it. Sign up for my BBS. You get one at final-zone.net. Revertivepulse.net if you want that. It's my domain. Wolf River Phone for my phone side projects. I got that. I can get you all the email addresses you fucking want. You know, if one for the fact I know it would be immediately rejected, if there was even a remote chance to actually assist with DAL, I would, just for the resume credibility as volunteer work. Provided technical support for a Baptist ministry in Alabama. I wouldn't go into detail. It's just enough to have it there.
Our trip to Dinosaur Adventure Land. Let me blow it up where you can read it here. My family and I recently enjoyed a short camping trip to the beaches of Destin, Florida.
Yeah, real talk. That's exactly what I was thinking. Wouldn't send mail to the old place. Yeah, I do believe Joe still lives there. And I do not want to cause any issues. I would, if for whatever reason there was an opportunity to discuss anything with her, I would take that chance. I know it's not going to happen, but that's one of those cases where I would go out of my comfort zone to interview just for curiosity's sake. But yeah, definitely don't do anything involving Kent's old address. All seriousness. But it's not a cheap thing and more I owe you thing because, you know, she's a woman and Kent can't have her being independent. Meh. Website seems like an old blog post Kent is reposting. Likely is. It's always a very dark story about that. A little boy disappeared from DAL, and when he was found, he was taken by a man with his... Good Lord. Whew.
During our break, we visited one of my favorite Bible creation teachers, Kent Hovind, at his Dinosaur Adventure Land in Lenox, Alabama, about an hour north of Pensacola. Dr. Hovind's an amazing resource for biblical creation study because as much of his stuff is available online for free. Let's see, skip down here. April 2018, Hovind opened the doors of Dinosaur Adventure Land. Amazingly, there's no charge to tour the park. They'll even consider letting you stay in the cabin and one night in the camper. However, they'd like a little notification in case they're already booked. I highly recommend stopping for the tour. It's free. Let's see. That's Dr. Hovind loves science. His tour includes a variety of stops to see how science applies to nature. Even a couple of science experiments, including his famous paper airplane launch. The record is 420.
This paper airplane thing is so ridiculous. He's so obsessed over it. It's like Kent. We did that kind of crap in elementary school. You want to know who the winner was for raw distance? Me. The problem is we were aiming for a target landing zone, so I blew it completely. But they acknowledged me for raw distance. Probably would have gone as far as yours did, weren't for the fact that the school wasn't that long. But I digress. I'm just remembering that day in like 3rd grade and how fun it was. Let's continue.
20 feet with a paper airplane. Come on, beat that. One of the things I enjoy most is the Bible study. Each night there's a Bible study live. Is that? Can you see that red text there, Joseph? Is that correct? YouTube channel is bit.ly.drdino. That's not right, is it?
That's a short URL shortener, Kent, and it's going to go to your old channel, so your SOL on that front. Only that swell pops up with, I don't think Joe will ever talk. She was deeply hurt by Kent. I don't know if you ever listened to the therapy session tape, which I have not. I didn't know that existed. It's heartbreaking to hear Kent disrespect the woman he quote-unquote loves. Yeah, like in all seriousness, I do legitimately feel terrible for Joe Hovind. She was just being a good wife to Kent and got completely fucked over by him. And it's heartbreaking. It's just as heartbreaking as the other much known situation of Kent and a female companion and what he decided to do. Sorry, this shit is upsetting me. Not blaming you guys. It's just this is the depths. These are the depths we're into with Kent. Yamato paper airplane stream when? Eventually. Like a failed actor, constantly tries to flex he was an extra on one thing once. Yeah, Kent is special. For anyone curious, the world record for paper airplane flight is 290 feet. Want to boast again about your 20, Kent? I thought he said like 420 or something. I thought he said some crazy distance. You know, I was half exaggerating with my thing, but I mean, my plane did go the whole damn hallway. It kept going. It was so cool. Straight nosedive. But it had inertia, baby.
That's probably an old one, so ignore that. Don't read that. Okay. We missed the study during our recent visit, but my son and I were able to attend a couple years ago there to help with construction of the park. Very knowledgeable about Bible creation. I believe you'll enjoy his Bible study time. Many people have come here, have written reviews about the place. Please do, okay? Some people who've never come here write reviews. That's a dangerous place, you know? Okay, come on down. So stay away then. If it's dangerous, boy, stay away. All that was from Ben Russell, Noah, Drake, and the Dragon Killer. He writes juvenile middle grade fiction adventures. He's not a scientist or a doctor. He's just a guy that's interested in those subjects. Look, all of you have some kind of talent you can use for the Lord. Use whatever you've got. God said to Moses, Moses, take the people out of Egypt. Tell Pharaoh, let them go. Moses said, Lord, he ain't going to do that. He's got free slave labor, 2 million people. God said, Moses, what do you got in your hand? He said, a stick, walking stick. He said, that's all you need. Let's go. And with that stick, it's amazing what he did. You got to read the story in the book of Exodus. Okay, so we've had visitors.
Kent, buddy. There is no way, shape, or form that Egyptian society at that time could have supported 2 million people as slaves. If there were that many slaves there, they would have well overran the population of Egypt and could have easily taken over through brute force. The story is such an obvious exaggeration of something that already we know didn't happen at all in any way, shape, or form. Such a clear exaggeration that it's beyond ludicrous. But keep going on, because remember, you have to remember, you think every single thing in the magic book of BS is accurate. Let's continue.
Visitors from all over the place. It is really a fun place. I'm a little prejudiced, but I think it's the coolest place in the world. There's all kinds of, I just found this morning, brother. You know, there's a lot of pictures of this place online. Yeah. We have so much fun. I gave that family a tour yesterday through the Science Center and all that. It's really cool. It's an old gravel pit, giant sand dunes you can slide down, all kinds of fun stuff to do. You see that one? Ancient skull found on archaeological dig is proof of our alien origins. Have you seen that ancient skull? Yeah. We're going to get rid of a couple of our two-door Jeeps.
That joke, if you couldn't tell, that was obviously like a milk jug or some kind of a container of similar shape. Sorry, I had a moment thinking about Canada and their bagged milk and how cool of a concept that is, because it totally makes sense, but that's neither here nor there. Kent mocking that joke, that little meme, when this is the guy who thinks strangely boat-shaped rock is clearly Noah's Ark. Right.
They're just not practical, okay? If you want to buy a Jeep, we got to have 4 doors on ours. Okay, we got this one, 92, $6,500. The Redneck Edition. It's got the extra wide fenders and all that stuff. It really is, okay? They typically go for 9 or 10,000, sometimes 25, 30,000. We just want to sell it, pick off a couple bills. We also have a 95 Wrangler, asking $4,500. Needs a new roof. There's the $370 for a new roof. And we got the Cherokee. Laszlo put the engine in, got it almost all hooked up, and died in the middle of the process. So it's as is. Take all the parts are take 10,000.
Died in the middle of the process, you know. It's like, yeah, way to talk highly about your friend there. I had to bring up 2 of my friends that passed today, just no pun intended, in passing, and I had to take a moment to reflect again, apologize to my coworker, and she was like, "No, it's fine. You just mention it like it's nothing." Real empathy there. I wanted to point out our friend Billy is in the chat. There's a secondary channel Billy's been uploading the Hovind files to. Awesome watch. Definitely go check it out. You look up the Hovind files, you're going to get that new channel and his content. I love that it opens with the Geno Samuel opening for the Chris Chan documentary. And it was fun to hear in the videos, because these are, slightly older videos, and Billy's been re-uploading them to the new channel, so they're in a nice centralized place. To hear him mention Kent being a lol cow for milking, since I have said the exact same phrase organically myself. It was so reassuring of like, yes, we're all truly on the same page with why we do this. So yeah, check the stuff out. It is good stuff.
1,000 for all three of them. Come on, get them. Progress on the ark. I'll give you more update on that later. Let's see, 25:10. Right here. Psalm chapter 58. God who judges the earth. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, ye sons of men? Why does God allow evil and suffering in the world?
Because he doesn't exist, or if he does, he's a piece of shit.
Somebody did an article, 5 greatest reasons why God doesn't intervene to prevent suffering. That was pretty good. I saw the 5 different points. I said, I don't want to go off on the rabbit trail too far. Psalm 58 is a psalm attributed to David and his.
Oh no, he does his fake crying again. I can't stand when he does that. This man's never shed an organic tear in his life.
Known as its imprecatory nature. Imprecatory, where the psalmist prays for God's judgment on the wicked. Is it okay to pray for judgment on the wicked? A whole bunch of people in the Bible did. Okay.
Shout out to Twitch in the chat. Ain't seen you in a hot minute. Welcome aboard.
Imprecatory are those that imprecate. They invoke judgment. God, judge them. That's what they're saying. Calamity or curses upon one's enemies, or those perceived as God's enemies. Major imprecatory psalms include Psalm 69, 109, all these other psalms, including 57. Should have moved that 5 over.
Whoa. Bagged milk in Wisconsin? I mean, I was up in Milwaukee, but, for an event, so I really wasn't, grocery shopping. I wish I'd have gone and checked that out. Maybe I'll get the chance to travel again sometime soon. It'd be nice.
Never mind. Okay. They're considered imprecatory psalms. Okay. Charles Spurgeon said, Psalm 58 is a plea for justice, contrasting the condemnation of the wicked with.
Well, I think that swell pops up with a side note. Anybody knows Ken hasn't offered LA fire victims refuge or DAL the same way he did hurricanes? Part of me wants to say it's legitimately a practical matter of people in the hurricanes being relatively close by, while LA is on the clear other end of the country, so that'd be a bit much of a trek. But then you still think he would offer it even just as a show of good faith. Good faith. So it does make you, think when you think about it like that, like, yeah, he could have at least said it. You never know. It would have looked better for him to have said something, yeah. But I playing devil's advocate, I think it's just a matter of logistics. He hadn't really considered it, but that's putting too much just pragmatism on Kent Hovind.
With the protection of the godly. Explaining the book commentary said, this commentary emphasizes the theme of justice, noting that David expresses a desire for God to bring justice on earth. It suggests that praying for justice, like David did, can be a powerful way to seek God's intervention against justice. Sometimes God's waiting for some of his kids. Lord, would you please judge this? Take care of this problem, Father. Sick them, kill, attack. Okay? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear, which will not hearken to voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. The snake charmers, they don't do much of that in America, but there's countries where they do that. Look at the flute. Actually, if the snake is deaf, he's not hearing the music at all, but he's watching you move back and forth. Snake charmers, who cares? Poison is mentioned quite a few times in the Bible. 9 times the Bible talks about poison. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Selah. Stop and think about it. Some people, as soon as you listen to them talk for a few minutes, you're going to understand all they've got in their head is evil, and their poison.
Only death adder I care about is the bad guy from the Sega Genesis game Golden Axe. It's a fun game. Not great. Shows its age. Still fun.
Poison's going to come out of their mouth. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. You can tell this is just evil down to the core. Some people are just bitter, comes out of their mouth, or angry. Comes,
Yeah, like you, Kent.
don't have anything nice to say. Anyway, Romans 3. Their throats an open sepulchre.
I have something nice to say, Kent. That is one of your less obnoxious Hawaiian shirts. In fact, I dare say I like that shirt. I would wear that shirt. Not very often, but I would wear that shirt. I like that.
With their tongues they've used deceit. The poison of asps is under their lips. The tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil full of deadly poison. Nobody can tame their tongue. The poison is like the poison of a serpent. They're like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear. They've sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Selah, stop and think about it. Their throat is an open sepulchre. That's a grave. The poison of asps is under their lips, but the tongue can no man tame. Anyway, every kind of beast and birds and serpents and things of the sea is tamed and hath been tamed of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It's an unruly evil full of deadly poison. How many of you have ever said something and later regretted it? Wished you hadn't said that. Therewith bless we God, even the Father, and therewith curse we.
Please, Kent, you don't regret anything you've ever done in life. You just blame everyone else for your problems.
Men, which are made after the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. Same mouth. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. Doth a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter? Anyway, he's Lord, I want you to judge them. God, break their teeth. Oh God, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Let them melt away as waters, which run continually. When he bendeth.
Let them melt away as waters. Water, water, where is the water?
His bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces. So he's praying this for his enemies, imprecatory prayer. Apparently it's okay. A bunch of Psalms are like that, okay?
The Talus pops up with an interesting comment. I always look for the angle. Usually his topic is very oriented towards his audience. This is true. I have noticed that. So if he's... Granted, he's just going through Psalms innately here, so it would be fair enough to say this is just pure coincidence if there is something, but it makes you wonder. Let's see where he breaks off into for this one. Because oddly enough, so far he hadn't brought up a single thing about evolution.
Doesn't mean you get to take the vengeance. You ask God to take it for you. Teeth are mentioned in the Bible 50 times.
Yeah, I always do these at the time Kent goes live. He's live right now, and people in the chat are mentioning Sandra. Hoo boy. Sorry, reading comments. Love y'all's comments. I really do. And please, if you watch my pre-recorded videos or rewatch live streams, be sure to comment again and again and again. I've got a few people who will just, as they watch it, just post new comments, and I love it. I'll come back, I'll see like 4 new comments, and I look, and it's like, you reached that point, you reached that point, you reached that point, you just hit that point, like, up, it's awesome.
Verse 8, as a snail which melteth. Did you know snails?
This is true. His Bibles are projections of his rage. And as you see, he's getting very bitter here. So he's definitely, he's using the fact that this sermon came up as a chance to project more of his rage and anger. And I guess the timing might not be better.
Melt. Yeah. Let every one of them pass away, like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, both living and in his wrath. Yeah, I thought snails can melt. How does salt melt snails? You can Google it yourself and learn more if you care about it. That's a big snail, man. Some parts of the world, they eat those. What was that comedy series years ago? Andy Griffith. They go to this restaurant and Barney's trying to be real, like he knows everything, They sit down there, get the menu. They can't read a word on there. It's in French or something.
This is good. Yeeting any mention of Sandra, so there's some fire. Oh, this is good. That means that something definitely happened. That's straight up 100% evidence that something most definitely happened. Ladies and gentlemen, we're entering a new phase of the Hovind story, post Sandra. Oh yeah, he does use every sermon as a way of continuous bitterness, certainly. But sometimes, when he's going in order like this, it coincides better with his pure evil nature than normal, than like just pure coincidence. It's much more apt, and I guess it's just perfect timing.
The waitress comes or waiter comes, says, "What would you like?" And Barney says, "I'll take this and this." Looking real smug, you know. The waiter says, "Okay, brains and snails." "Yes, sir." "Kevin, don't cook that here for us, would you?" "Okay, thank you." "Let the snail keep his brains." And the righteous shall read.
I'm not saying, go to Ken Hovind's chat and just post Yamato live or something in it, but that would be funny to kind of rate it with random Yamato live. Not really, but
Rejoice when he seeketh vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. There is something satisfying when you see somebody who's done something evil finally get what they deserve. There's all kinds of videos.
Oh yeah, Kent. There's something really satisfying, and we're all feeling very satisfied right now because evidence seems to point to you losing yet another wife. It's almost as if you're a horrible person, as well as being a misogynistic piece of shit. And I think you can hear the smile on my face because I am kind of grinning ear to ear right now, thinking about the fact that, oh, you're just in for yet another load of bullshit. And I hope Sandra has so much dirt on you, it puts you away for the rest of your miserable life.
Videos on the internet about karma.
Am I talking about actual prison? Am I talking about a personal hell? Take it however you want. Clock's ticking, old man.
You know, somebody does something bad to somebody else and they get karma. Some guy stops in traffic, opens his door, and goes over to rob somebody. Somebody else drives by and clips his door off. Karma. So that a man shall say, "Verily, there is a reward for the righteous. Verily, he's a God that judgeth the earth." See, God is going.
No, Taylor, yeah, seriously, it's better to not interact. I have a semi hands-off policy. I'll pop up into chat if I feel I actually can contribute properly to something sometimes. Very rarely though. Don't leave comments because there's no point. But Kent's clowns will sure come to my channel and leave their stupid comments. Also, downvoting the video like they always do. You expect it, but it's the fact that it's still interaction, so they're not doing any actual harm. It's funny. Try to get them to stop because it's like, guys, you're just wasting your time, but they don't listen. So, if they want to help the channel, they can keep on helping it.
Going to be the judge, whether we like it or not. And nobody gets by with anything. They might short term, maybe for a couple of years. God's going to be the judge of everything. The Lord said to him, "Whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold." The Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. Nobody bother this guy. "To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time." Lester Roloff preached a great sermon. Their foot shall slide in due time. It's coming. "For the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. If I whet my glittering sword and mine hand take hold of judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies." Yeah, I think what Israel's doing is perfectly justified. Everybody's having fun time, having a party, and these guys ride in on motorcycles and trucks and kill 1,200 of them, rape the women, haul some of them off captive, and they're wondering, why do you guys keep bombing us?
Wait, whoa. I was reading chat and we just got into the... Oh, here we go, everyone. We got 2 minutes left and it's about to get deep.
If I whet my glittering sword and mine hand take hold of judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies. Yeah, I think what Israel's doing is perfectly justified. Everybody's having fun time, having a party, and these guys ride in on motorcycles and trucks and kill 1,200 of them, rape the women, haul some of them off captive, and they're wondering, Why do you guys keep bombing us? Man, maybe they're going to get a big bulldozer and just push them all into the Mediterranean, build a little peninsula. Okay. Oh, the Bible has...
Wow, exactly as advertised. Oh, boy, Kent, you really, really are all about that ethnic cleansing, aren't you? Reminds me of the thoughts and ideas of a failed Austrian painter who, at this time 100 years ago, was at the tail end, if not already out of his prison sentence for the Munich beer hall putsch, which was in November of 1923. Kent, I don't think you want to be talking along the same lines as this particular person who I think was a talented artist, but made a lot of very, very wrong decisions in life, which have traditionally been regarded as a bad move. I don't think you want to be talking like that person. But of course, you will continue to do so because you are under the impression that evolution was the cause of all of those actions. After what? Sorry, I had a moment here where a lot of thoughts came at once. You think evolution was the cause of those actions, even though evolution is not mentioned at all in Mein Kampf, as far as I'm aware. And if it was, you certainly would have cited it in the multiple times you, Matt Powell, and others have brought up the book. But it suffices to say that everything that was done by that particular failed Austrian painter was done due to extreme application of traditional ethnic biases that existed at that time, especially in Europe, especially in Germany. But notwithstanding that, you have a person who claims to be the child of Holocaust survivors in your audience who gave testimonial earlier. And you're going to make references to actions that would be ethnic cleansing. Actions that were honestly actually done just the other way around. But of course, your holy text has the classic eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, which granted, I think that's somewhere in I don't know the aspects of the Old Testament that are strictly in, canonically in Judaism, if one can say it that way. I don't care about religion enough to study these things because I find it all equally absurd. But that too is neither here nor there, which I've said a lot this time, in this stream. You're really going to say this stuff. And I'm sorry, everyone in the audience, y'all just heard me go through like the entire thought process openly of reacting to what this man just said. And really, breaking it down, I guess deconstructing it would be the word. And I haven't looked at the chat. I've just had it paused this whole time. Half the time, face palming, eyes closed, looking down, thinking. He just says this shit with a straight face. Kent, we live in a society.
Has a lot to say about vengeance, found in the Bible 45 times, 39 different verses. Some verses have it in there twice. Okay. Righteous. The Lord said to Noah, "Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation." When God looks at you, what does he see? He sees the heart. He sees the thoughts. He knows your imaginations of your thoughts. What does he see? Do you have a pure heart? Are you trying to do what's best? Are you trying to hide things all the time? Are you sneaking around trying to steal things from your boss or your employer? Abraham drew near. He said, "Wilt thou destroy the righteous with the wicked?" But God's going to go judge Sodom in Genesis chapter 18. The Lord said, "If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city."
Rosina pointing out to Twitch, who said, "Can we get his channel banned?" Pointing out that in one of the Science Center videos, yes, day 2/3 of the Science Center, he basically did tell the children to eat cyanide. I reported for that myself, and it got nowhere. But maybe if a few dozen others of us report it, there you go. Maybe we'll get some results.
I'll spare all the place for their sake. He couldn't even find 50. And Abraham said, well, let's see, Lot, my nephew's there, his wife, his 2 daughters. Surely they've led somebody else to the Lord all that time they've been there. He said, Lord, would you do it for 45? Would you spare it? He said, yeah, how about 40? How about 30? How about 20? How about 10? He talked God down to 10. If I can find 10 righteous, I'll spare the city. Couldn't even find 10. Went and got Lot, his wife and daughters out of there, judged the whole city. We've got in our museum here one of the sulfur balls from Sodom and Gomorrah. They found Sodom and Gomorrah. The place is still covered with sulfur balls. It rained.
Yeah, seriously, I want to understand how the hell that's supposed to be good and valuable for just saying, here, come, do that to my virgin daughters. You totally want them. Just don't attack me. But remember, the Bible's the good book. Book of absolute bullshit. As a reminder, as much as I try, this video is probably not going to be able to be monetized. So if anyone still has some shekels to throw my way, that would be amazing. I feel like such a clod for having to do that. It's not like it's going to make or break me, but it does help. It really does help. If you want to know what's going on, shoot me an email. I'll fill you in.
Fire and brimstone on those cities. They're still over there. Come on down and see it. Okay. 238 matches for the word righteous in the Bible. Judge me.
Yeah, and there's 400 for kill. Get over it.
O Lord, my God. For God is judge. The God is the judge. Oh, arise, O God, judge the earth. I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked. There's just something comforting knowing there's going to be a final judgment day. What do you atheists think when somebody does something bad to your family and they get by with it? You got that gnawing feeling all the rest of your life that nothing's ever going to happen to them. Oh, yeah. See, Christians have that gnawing feeling that God will settle it. God will settle all scores, okay? Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel. Good job. Baal was the pagan god. Can't tell all the stuff they taught their people to do under Baal. And the Lord said to Jehu, because thou hast done well in executing that which is right in mine eyes, and hast done unto the house of Ahab according to all that was in my heart, thy children of the 4th generation shall sit on the throne of Israel. Jehu, because you did right, I'm going to let your kids and grandkids and great-grandkids all going to be king. It's going to be a 4-generation reign. Jesus said in Matthew 25, he that received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. I gained 5 more. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful in a few things. I'll make thee ruler over many things. In one of the tellings of this story, he said he gave them 5 talents. They went out, invested them, and came back with 5 more. He said, I'm going to give you 5 cities. Whoa, you get to be the ruler, the governor, whatever they had back then, okay? He that received 2 talents said, Lord, you delivered me 2 talents. I got 2 more. Look, I don't know what talents God's given you. Everybody gets something different. Are you?
Let's notice that people are being rewarded with material and current world things. It's funny they do that if this life doesn't matter at all. You think it'd just be bonus points in Magic Skyland. But what do I know?
Are you using what you have for the Lord? Everybody's got some kind of talent. My preacher used to say, every one of you can do.
Rosino with a $4.99 super chat. Can't just acknowledge a God ball other than Yahweh? I think so. I get a $1.99 from Well Ain't That Swell. Shout out Sandra not moisturizing Kent's neck. Oh, moisturize me. Moisturize me. Even in Christ, bad people still go away with bad things. That's just life. Yep.
Do something for the Lord. Some of you could serve as professional bad examples. Maybe that's your calling in life. That's you, brother. His Lord said to him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. That's all I want to hear one day.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, man. Oh. Someone play me a song on the world's smallest violin.
Plenty of mistakes in this life, but I want God to say, Kent, well done. I'm a little worried he's going to say, look, I gave you this much and you did this much. You know, what happened in here? My Lord. Sorry. Is God going to say that to you? Well done. Maybe you're in a real tough spot. Maybe you got a real tough job to do. I think of Brother Meister a lot back here. His wife with dementia now for 10 years. He's just been a faithful husband, take care of her for 10 years. He's going to get a crown up in heaven. Well done, good and faithful. So you ought to listen to his sermons.
Oh my God, I had that thing where I was muted and unmuted at the wrong times. Deviant Outcast pops up with some interesting stuff. Oh, me so sure, Yamato. I was raised fascist. That kind of shit exactly was every day at the table as Der Fuhrer held his many hour-long monologues. It was portrayed as a sign of being rational and tough and better, more worth. Ooh. Oof. Oh, man. You know, Benito Mussolini's granddaughter had a pop career in the 80s, and now she's like a far-right Italian politician. Just, thought I'd bring that up. Music was kind of all right. But talents on the Bible are coins, not skills. One of those things lost in translation. Bad Austrian man died, but he still inspired a legacy of anti-Semitism. Where's the justice? Because God burned him and cleaned the 6 million. Burned him, it cleans the 6 million dead. Yeah, it's like there's no justice in this construct. Now he's going to say, Kent, you're a horrible person who drove people away with my creation and my teachings. Yep. Made the oof. Oof. I can't repeat it, but y'all can read it. Kent's eyes are wild in this pause. They are. Time to, that's going to be the thumbnail. That is the thumbnail. Thank you for pointing that out. Well, ain't that swell? You are awesome. Oh. Lodge's recent carnivore debate on SFT, his entire debate was wide-eyed rambling. Maybe we'll take a look at that. Because we totally could.
It's on our channel here. Please listen to him, okay? He said in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, we're always confident, knowing that whilst we're at home in the body, we're absent from the Lord. We walk by faith, not by sight. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. This is one of the verses that teaches as soon as you die, you go to heaven, if you're saved. Or as soon as you die, if you're lost, you go to hell. Rich man and Lazarus story in the book of Luke tells the same thing.
I want to sample that moment where he said, you go to hell, just because that actually sounded kind of funny.
As soon as you die, if you're lost, you go to hell.
You go to hell.
Rich, as soon as you die, you go to heaven, if you're saved.
All right. Everyone ready for it? We're getting it again.
Or as soon as you die, if you're lost, you go to hell.
I don't know why that amuses me so much. I just want that clip. You go to hell. That's like a reaction to stuff. Oh, I'm gonna do that later. I'm gonna make that as a little bonus video.
Rich man and Lazarus story in the book of Luke tells the same thing. As soon as they died in hell, they woke up. They're too late. The moment you die, you're going to hell. No wait. Before they even haul you off to the mortuary, you're in hell. He said, we labor that whether we be absent or present, we may be accepted of him. We must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad. Every score is going to be settled. God's going to be judge. It's appointed unto man once to die. Have any of you ever had a court date? You had to show up to court for something? To be here on this date?
At least Kent raised his hand. Can't say he's not being honest there. Excuse me, unscheduled coughing fit. Kent, your legal troubles are so crappy. You've had court dates while you're in jail. It's fucking weird, man. I mean, it's not, but let's just pretend it's weird.
What's your court date to stand before the Lord? I don't know what mine is. I know my birth date coming up in a few days. Don't know my death date yet.
Except you do, Kent, because you can reasonably think of any given date in the future that you are likely to still possibly be alive up to. So in theory, you know In theory, you could guess a random date, and that might actually be it, meaning that you do know when that day is. It's like that meme where we all pass the anniversary of our death, we just don't know it yet. And that kind of fucks with me. But, try not to let it ruin my day. I exist right now, and I'm just going to keep moving forward.
Going to be a rock someplace with my name on it someday. A little dash between two dates. Same for you, by the way. What are you doing with your dash?
Whatever the hell I want. Apparently, my job right now is entertaining the 33 people watching the stream. So, yeah, seem to be doing pretty good with my life.
Like the one guy the angel came to him and said, well, you're going to die. He said, oh, would you please let me just take one thing with me to heaven? Angel said, let me go ask the Lord. He goes up, comes back. He said, the Lord said, okay, you can bring one thing, one suitcase, all you can bring. So for the next, he said, and I'm going to give you 2 more years of life. For the next 2 years, he went around selling all his assets and getting gold. He got a suitcase full of gold. He finally dies. He shows up in heaven with the suitcase. Angel says, what do you got in there? Opens it up. He said, you brought blacktop?
That joke's terrible, Kent. Also, they wouldn't have called it blacktop. You act like... Why am I even taking the joke seriously? I guess because taking the joke seriously is more fun more funny than the actual joke itself.
Is that all you're trying to do in life, is collect blacktop? We're going to walk on it one day, folks. Invest in God's kingdom. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness. He's long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish. See, God made the world, whether you atheists know it or not, or believe it.
The joke's that the streets are going to be paved with gold. And so them calling it blacktop, it's like, oh, pavement. What have you. Well, pavement in the UK is your sidewalk, but, road surface. But they wouldn't call it that because, one, we can presume any entities in heaven would be smart. They would acknowledge it being gold, and it's like that's everywhere. They wouldn't react in that way as if gold was an alien construct to them. It's just such a stupid joke.
Or not, you will one day. God made it. He owns it. He makes the rules, and he wants everybody to come to heaven. And not everybody's heard the news. So Jesus said to his disciples, go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature.
Look, I'm just saying, haunted forests, there need to be more of them. Because they won't bulldoze those and put up shitty-ass apartments.
He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved. He that believeth not shall be damned. He wants everybody saved. Our job is to go tell them. Now, you can use dinosaurs to do that job if you'd like. Maybe you like to make balloons. Maybe you're a magician, want to do your magic. I used to juggle.
That's why I still want to ask Kent his opinion on Christian-themed video games, since he talks so much crap about games.
I go to junior churches all over the country and juggle knives and stuff. I would juggle.
Yeah, right.
For a while and do some magic tricks juggling the balls. And I'd say, okay, kids, I'd pick up 3 machetes and juggle the machetes. I'd say, how many of you believe I can juggle these machetes? Oh, I do. Who's willing to lay down up here blindfolded while I do it? Ooh. There's a big difference between believing and sitting out there and really trusting. That was just a simple illustration I did. That's the only one of the few talents I had. I could juggle. I'm going to use it for the Lord.
$4.99 super chat from the ever-generous Rosina. I don't know about Kent, but I plan on coming back as a zombie. Please don't shoot. Try to remember that. Just put like a note somewhere.
Lord,
that'll remind me.
What talents has he given you? I don't know, but you better go look in the mirror and say, God, what do I have? How can I use it for you? You probably can't be a multi-billionaire and give money away for mission. Maybe some of you can. But I sure can't. What are you doing? What?
I kind of love it. I wish Kent was able to haunt us right now. I could just imagine him coming up being like, revolution's a religion. You believe you came from a rock. I just give him the finger and say, shut up. It'd be like the scene in Home Alone when Kevin confronts the furnace and he just tells it, shut up, and it just goes. It'd be like, yeah, be like that. But like how that was when you watched it as a kid. where it was an even more boss scene.
On earth are you doing, for heaven's sake? I don't know. You got to think about that. The video series I did, why on earth did God let this happen, for heaven's sake?
This little "for heaven's sake" and everything is so forced. For the "what on earth are you doing, for heaven's sake," that works, but his "why on earth did God let this happen, for heaven," that's such a terrible title.
Bad things have happened to you. Why on earth did God let this happen, for heaven's sake? And I did the series on the future. What on earth is about to happen, for heaven's sake? I want to get those on our website, the DVD series, on drdino.com. What are you doing? Some of you are more worried about who wins the stupid bowl than your neighbor going to heaven.
Because the Super Bowl's real. Also, and hear me out, it would be expensive. But let's just say I had bukus of money. Take my whole fucking body, secure it in some awesome crypt, launch that fucker into deep space. You know, we're talking Voyager trajectories. Do a grand tour of whatever planets, you know. Put equipment on there, you know. Let's just turn it into a whole thing. And I just keep on going away from this world. But the awesome thing would be, theoretically, 5 billion years, when the sun has engulfed the earth, I'd still be out there. My remains would be the last human remains, presuming we don't make it off this rock. It's a little egotistical, but I mean, you could replace it with anybody, and it's an interesting thought, and that would be the last person. I don't know. It's just one of those things, like you think about the fact that we've sent so much stuff out into the cosmos, and it's like evidence of humanity is forever out in the cosmos. Not just our radio signals, but actual physical objects. We've done it. We've left a permanent mark, albeit a microscopic one, in the cosmos. Evidence that we were here. That's pretty cool.
Wake up. It's not going to be important one day. Quit wasting your life collecting blacktop. God who judges the earth.
Okay, Kent. As I've said before, why don't you just give away all this stuff right here that you don't actually need? All you need to do your little sermons is just your equipment to actually do the broadcast, and you. You don't need the Dinosaur Adventure Land thing up there. You don't need that chair over there, those other chairs. You don't need those books. You don't need that sand toy. You don't need your little, terrorism warning indicator. You don't need your stupid chart back there. You don't need any of that stuff. You don't even technically need your stupid slides. But of course, we know in practice you need those because that's how you keep up with your bullshit. So why don't you go back to your roots, sell everything, and live by example? Otherwise, shut up.
Psalm 58. All right, that's it. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, I pray that you'll shake somebody.
No, we're not going through this. Oh yeah, pro athletes giving back to the community is kind of an amazing thing. Like, they legitimately do try their best to help out. I mean, I think they're still overpaid and quite spoiled in some regards, but at the same rate, it is entertainment, and that's just how things work. So, yeah. Even Outcast, yeah, what are you doing, Kent? Truly believe in divine judgment. How deluded are you for a second to think anything but eternal hellfire waits for you? Very good point. Billy's comment about Sandra is at 5 likes on Hovind's channel. Hell yeah. I'm going to go give it another one. Okay, though. That has been, wow, and actually an oddly quick Whack-A-Hovind for a 30-minute long Kent video. I guess it's a little easier when he doesn't spend his time rambling on about evolution and being a moron. Well, more of a moron than normal. Let me just point out, this is from Ambush to Apostate. Let me just point out how awkward it must be for his cult members to watch drama with his wife unfold. Very uncomfortable feeling in these groups, certainly. You aren't going to be important one day, Ken. Now, doesn't that make you just brown your entire cult compound? Yes, it does, and we all know it. Chair squeak. Well, that concludes this unscheduled broadcast because I don't have much else to add, and we're not going to go through Kent's prayer because,
if you want to have magical alone time with your sky daddy, that's your business. I don't care. We don't need to see it. In fact, he's violating one of the tenets of his religion, and that prayer is supposed to be a secluded, private thing. But what do I know? I'm just some heathen. But yeah, that's about the end of that. I want to thank everyone for coming. And we've got a $13.99 Canadian super chat from our friend Rogue Rainbow. I'm going to go back in time, find a dinosaur, hatch it, raise it, love it, and then when it's an adult, send it to DL so it can eat Kent all while I smoke a fat joint. Oh, excellent. As always, y'all are just the best. Thanks for joining in this very impromptu stream. Had some fun. We had some tense moments, but sorry, that's one yawn for this stream. We definitely had a good one, I'd say. Glad it went a little bit quicker than normal. Again, thank you to everyone for coming. I will catch everyone next time. And now everyone wants to join in the dinotastic destruction. All right. Much love. Next time, we'll hopefully get some answers on the Sandra situation. Later, my friends.